Okay, and we are live, and awesome to see everybody out there. Of course, I'm sure almost all of y'all know myself, and we got Bumping Mike Greenwell next to us. We got, let's see, we'll start it out like we always do, go out there and chat. We got Tim Molina, Mike Irvin. We got Farron, Bottom Feeders, hooked up. Mike Irvin. There's Greenwell Fishing out there.
Hey,
great to have you in the chat, Mike. There's my broadcast brother, Creole. How's it going, Creole? Roger, Muskrat Adventures. Awesome job with the kids tournament. Dan's Creations. Always great to see Dan. JP3, my brother. How's it going? Okay, we got 6 people right now. And I'm sure more will come in as we get going. So we have biggest thing we're going to do tonight, as always on Friday, we're talking catfish and fishing in general. And this week we got Mike with us. He has gone over the 1K mark, but still is looking for those 4K watch hours. Central Valley Adventures, how's it going? Great to see you. So if you have not, Mike's link is out in the description. If you have not hook set or whatever the key phrase we're going with anymore, if you're not with Greenwell Fishing yet, his link is out in the description. Check him out. I don't care if you bank fish, boat fish, whatever, kayak. Mike has a lot of information in the videos that will help anybody. It's about catfish. What's up, JP3? There's Fishing with the Chad. And Mike, you know, you do a lot of things out there in the catfish community. You've done some catfish tournaments and awesome channel, like I said, with some awesome information. As far as YouTube goes, Sean Abney out there, how's it going? We're up to 15 people now. Awesome, awesome. As far as YouTube goes, what got you started with that? Was it just like, I got to just get this information out? Was it friends that got you going? How did that get going?
To be honest with you, it started just out recording and wanting to keep them for myself. If I get that the first big fish I catch, I want it to be on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started uploading it, and I had a few people that, you know, was sit and watch, and then it just kind of went from there. You look at my very first videos, and I didn't even do much talking. All we was doing is fishing. It was just a home video is all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've slowly gotten a little better at it.
Then we got Austin out there, Dave Gachar, Dale Hayslip. How's it going, Dale? Yeah, and that's I think a lot of us got started kind of that same way. You know, I was last year at this time, I'm sitting on the couch. Every once in a while I'd go out with Stan 3, but then kind of found YouTube, and I was like, well, I'll start putting some videos out there so I can watch, you know, my son and I and our granddaughters out there. And next thing you know, you get people watching it and you're like, hey, you know, there's people watching. This is all right.
Well, I had my wife order my first camera off of Amazon. It was like one of those $60 all action cams. Now I've got 3 GoPro 4s and microphones and constant chargers, extra battery packs, a whole book of SD cards.
Well, that is the adventure that I'm on now, because we've been almost strictly live shows where it's pretty much you got your phone, you got a tripod, you got some extra batteries. So that's our next for our channel for 2Stans Fishing is getting into the SD cards and the videos and you know, that kind of stuff. And luckily I've been going out with Green Machine, and he does an awesome job with that. So it's good to have somebody that, you know, you can talk face to face with, that's got some
he's a very good editor. I like a lot of his video. He's really good at editing.
Unbelievable. Yes. And let's see, we're up to 18 now. We got Realville Catfishing out there, Tim Molina, Big John is in. So if you all have any questions out there as far as catfishing goes, or questions for Mike about his channel. Like I said, the main purpose tonight is like every Friday night, we're talking fishing like we always do. But the other purpose, as you saw on the channel, is we want to get Mike to 4K watch hours. And that should be pretty simple because once you watch one, you're going to want to watch more. I guarantee it. You will definitely pick some things up.
And I guess I didn't really understand the watch time, the you go back 365 days. I guess older videos fall off because I'm actually lower on my watch time now than I was, because last year at this time I had 2 videos that hit like 4,000 views a piece, and I guess they fell off. So that sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the things that if you get into YouTube and you want to actually grow that channel and get those things going, from what I understand, it's 365 days, a rolling 365 day period. And but like I said, it's we've got 19 people now. Steve Austin is out there. Uncle Lou came in. How you doing, Uncle Lou? Mark, Catfish and Crappie, how you doing, my friend? Great to see you. Let's see. I think that was all the other ones that joined us. Realville Catfishing, of course. We are always fishing on Stan Day. We missed Easter Sunday. Was the only Sunday we've missed. The only Stan Day we missed since last October. So and Dan's Creations is actually the one with the Stan Day. He was the first one that kind of coined that Stan Day phrase. So thank you very much, Dan's Creation. And that's one of the things that I've picked up from people is that to consistently grow the channel, just like Muskrat was saying out there, the lives help with watch hours, but to get people and keep them coming back in, it's the videos. And the other thing I've learned that is consistency, and that's a tough one, where dropping a video or every single week at this time or that time and doing the shows like you were doing the show on Saturday nights. I think you were doing a great job with that. The Weekly Whiskers, you had some great guests, a lot of great information being passed out. But it's tough to do that, week in, week out, hit that same time.
Got to give a shout out to Muskrat. He said he was out bumping today.
Yeah, I think you didn't invent bumping, but you've kind of taken it over because when you hear the name Mike Greenwell, at least in our community, you hear Mike Greenwell, and the first thing that comes to mind is bumping. How did that come about? Was it something that you just said, I'm going to try one day, or?
Actually, my buddy Steven, we went out and he was just learning it himself. We seen some of them guys down on the Mississippi River just catching these fish, the boats moving, no more anchored, no more drifting. It's like, oh, we had to check this out. So we looked at it a little bit, and we just went out and we did it. We started doing it. We struggled. I think the very first fish I ever caught bumping, I actually took my thumb off the spool and I bird nested that thing. Just a little bitty channel cat, but man, he sure messed that reel up.
Yeah, and I have recently, I'm old school with catfishing where you toss it out on the bottom and you anchor up, and that was my for years that was my philosophy with catfishing, and especially since Stan 3 and Green Machine going out in the kayaks, we've kind of adapted different things, and our big thing here is suspend drifting. It's just awesome, and if anybody has the opportunity to do that, either bumping or drifting, dragging, all those kind of things. I love when I tell Green Machine all the time, I love when I'm wrong, because if I can be proved wrong, that means something else is working. You know what I mean? So I love it. There's a perfect time and a place for anchoring.
There's been days where we go out and we will drift and we won't catch a fish drifting. Change it up, go anchor up on a tree, and we smashed a 40-pounder. I mean, sometimes you got to change it. You can't be afraid to anchor. You can't be afraid to drift. Shoot, if you can spot lock and walk a bait back in low current situations and still have that bait moving.
Yeah, that is the big thing that I have really picked up is, first of all, we're up to 26 people. There's my good friend, Bigfoot Prepper. Really appreciate you coming in. He has a really interesting channel. Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you're into cryptids and things like that, awesome show. And then he also does a couple of times a week. He does Bible verses. But Bigfoot Prepper, if y'all want to check him out, that would be great. We've got let's see, G-Style Fishing is in. Stonefly, Country Boy Catfishing, Mo Barrett. And anyways, oh wait, cryptids. Holy, yeah, it's a pretty interesting show. I really enjoy it. But like I said, I've learned that here in the James, there's times, like you said, that like I said, my whole thing with catfish used to be to anchor and let it sit there. And I've learned that they can be just as finicky as trout, as bass, as any of these other game fish species. We got Has Life dropping in, Avid. It's a Bigfoot in the house. Can't stay, just hopping in to share you out and hit the thumbs up. Appreciate you, Has Life.
You know, me and Steven, we thought we had a feel for this bumping stuff. We went to the very first Mississippi River Monsters down in Memphis, 2016, I think it was. And we get out there on that Mississippi River, and we're trying to bump, and we didn't have a clue what we was doing. we both caught a fish out of the Mississippi River, but man, it whooped us that day. But we went and got revenge. We went and got some revenge.
And that's something you'll hear a lot of us say is time on the water and on the different waters. Like tournament fishing, you see a lot of different waters, so you'll see that there is some similarities, but there's differences depending on the body of water you're fishing. So that's
heck, just here on the Ohio River, the pools are so much different. You can be down below a dam and have 4-mile-an-hour current. You lock through and go above that dam, it might be 2-mile-an-hour current. You might be able to sit an anchor on a tree up there, and down here you can't.
12 gauge catfishing in. I saw Alicia Barnett come in. Avid is in here. And we were out with Dan Green Machine on his boat, and like I said, the bite, we tried anchoring first, and the bite was really like just nibble, just those tiny little bump. But you know, sometimes you can see that little bump and you know it's not a little fish that's doing it, but they just weren't taking that bait. So Mr. Gadget's in the house. How's it going? So then we went to drifting and dragging, and it was amazing what moving that bait did. But it had to be at every bite that we got came at 0.8 miles per hour. If we were at 0.6, 0.7, nothing. We were at 0.9, 1, nothing. 0.8, as soon as we would go up or down to that 0.8, bam. And it wasn't the little nip. It just hit it and ran. So it's like I said, it's a learning experience. If you've got that idea of catfishing, and there's nothing wrong with that. If your enjoyment of catfishing is going out, we got Farmer's Son prepping in here. How's it going? Great to see you. We're up to 30 awesome people. If your idea is going out there and sitting on the edge of the lake or the river or whatever and casting some poles out and just sitting back and enjoying it, and you catch some cat, that's awesome. That's awesome. But if you've got that bug where you've got to get that next big fish, or that, these are the things that you go through this journey, and kind of talking with Epic Catfish, and that's kind of what I've picked up too. There's catfishing, and then there's catfishing. And you learn the information, but as far as the real teacher is time on the water, and just learning these little intricacies can make such a difference.
That's another thing that really hurt me last year when my boat, the white boat I had, when it went down, that hurt me a lot because I couldn't go out because 2019 was the best year I had fishing. I actually made money catfishing in 2019. We won 7 out of 10 tournaments, and we had a dang good year in 2019. Then my boat decided to screw up in 2020, and it screwed everything up.
Yeah, I think Roger can. Roger can appreciate that boat being down. Heartache there. As far as what would be advice that you could give? Let's say I'll go with like myself, where I was that diehard. Oh, okay, I'm just going to cast out and sitting on the bottom. And all of a sudden I got that bug now where I got to get those bigger fish. I got to get more fish. What you got a piece of advice? What would be your biggest piece of advice for something like that? I know that's a tough question, right?
as in bumping or just out chasing the big fish?
Anything.
Because for bumping, there's times where, especially here on the Ohio, we get 4 or 5 mile an hour current when the river gets up and rolling, and you cannot anchor in that. I mean, you could get in an eddy, and you could hope that the fish are hanging out in that eddy. But in the summertime, when that water's 80 degrees and that river's flowing like that, don't be afraid to get out there in the middle of that thing and just bump it up. To be honest, on chasing the big fish, sometimes if you're struggling, you turn that depth finder on and go find him. But sometimes don't be scared to go off your gut. If you know there's a tree down there that holds a big fish, you got some fresh bait, go cut it up and throw it on him.
Yeah, that's some great advice there, especially if you've had time on the water. Don't be afraid to I've always been, I was that person last year sitting on the couch. So but I've fished for almost 5 decades. It's just recently where I kind of had some physical issues and whatnot and kind of got out of it a little bit. But don't be afraid to use what you've learned, on other fish, on other waters. If you're not having luck in your particular water or that thing that you're doing, try something new. Learn about the species that you're targeting, learn about the species that you're going after, ask questions about it. Fins and Foul is in the house. How's it going? We're up to 31 awesome people.
Another I think is funny is like I'm not a big dragger. I just I don't like it's just not me. I'd rather be suspend drifting. Jake loves dragging. He loves that dragging, and he was just the opposite of me. He wasn't too sure about bumping. We've caught fish bumping before, but that day that he caught that monster, I talked him in. We gotta go bumping, man. We gotta go bumping. We gotta find some current. We gotta chase that current. We gotta do some bumping. And that day changed his mind a little bit.
Well, from being someone that has had the luxury and the pleasure of talking with Epic one-to-one a lot, what a lot of people current, your number one thing you want to look for is that current. Blue, if you're chasing blues, especially blues love that current. I don't know if it begins with that's just what their body is designed for. They're designed for that heavy current, number one. But number two, there's just so many other opportunities out there in that current for those big blues. And sometimes, like you were saying, and Creel says it right there, sometimes bumping provides a method of fishing an area that is otherwise impossible. And I think suspend drifting is very similar, except that, in my opinion, suspend drifting is pretty similar because if you're watching to really do an effective suspend drifting, you've got to watch the bottom and keep that. You're constantly adjusting the depth and the speed and the, up, down, et cetera, et cetera. So it's pretty similar, except that the rod holder is holding your rods, and suspend drifting, you can put out a couple more extra rods rather than the one in your hand. But I believe they both have that same you're suspend drifting, and all of a sudden that oh, there's Justin Poncho came in. How you doing, Justin? I'm gonna get to the rigs for you in just a second, but you're suspend drifting, and Mo Creek is in here. How's it going, Mo Creek? And that rod all of a sudden just is sitting right next to you, and it's straight under the boat, and that thing hits, and you literally feel the bite. You know, bumping is probably the next thing that I'm going to try to get into, just because such an awesome thrill. Just the suspend drifting is a thrill, seeing it just go like that. And so I can only imagine when you're holding that rod and you get that same effect and it's actually in your hand. That can only just be Creo said it, that he did it one time and was hooked.
That's
So
exactly right.
Let's see.
About another thing about suspend drifting, you know, if you're out and the current, you got low current situations, especially here on the Ohio River, and you go out and you're drifting out in the middle and you're not getting anything, don't be afraid to go over and hit that flat. 17 to 20 foot, all sandy bottom. Go over and at least give it one or two go overs, and you'll be surprised at what you catch over there.
Well, so far I've heard Mike say 3 or 4 times tonight, don't be afraid to try this. If what you're doing isn't working, and that's the big thing that I've learned, I totally agree with you that don't be afraid to try something new. The river is, you know, the rivers, the lakes, whatever, they're big bodies of water. Different techniques are going to work at different times, so definitely go ahead and give it a try. Muskrat Adventure said, we bumped to get into every hole. Fish today were covered in mud.
Hey, Roger, are you guys the river falling there yet, or is it still rising?
I imagine a bunch. I don't know how Ohio, but Ohio's not too far from Virginia. We've been just getting killed with rain the past few days, so.
I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this or not, but no.
Let me see.
That's our river on a rise there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's a little bit. There you go. That's perfect.
She's heading straight up.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
We've been getting quite a bit of rain also.
Muskrat Adventures will be live every Tuesday night at 8. Realville said, I've wanted to try bumping. Realville Catfishing is here in Virginia on the James River. We've been out fishing together. So how's it going, Realville?
Man, if you guys could get that bumping down up there on that James River, I think you'll be on some major fish.
Yeah, I think so. The suspending is like I said, that's from Dan being in the kayak. Dan and Stan 3, that's their big thing, is doing that suspend drifting. But I think that if we can, like you said, that getting that suspend drifting and getting into some of those other areas where there's some of that little bit bigger current that you really can't do the suspend drifting in, it just opens up a lot more of the river. And yeah, that's that's the big thing. You keep getting that you want that next fish. There's all these techniques that just kind of keep opening up for you, and each one leads to a different one and a different and then it's just a matter of knowing when to put which one together with the right conditions and, you know, time on the water.
That's what, going back to the dragon, we went down to Alabama for a tournament. We only took 2 days, and we went down there mainly just go have fun. And if we did good in the tournament, we did. If we didn't, we didn't. But we doubled up on one drift on a 60 and a 30 dragon. So that kind of changed my mind a little bit about dragon, especially down there. You talk to the guys that live down there, and they say when the water gets up and high down there, them fish get close to the bank because they don't like that current. They said they're fat and lazy down there.
That's too funny. Yeah, and there it goes. That goes again with the different. You know, it's all about knowing what body of water you're fishing and knowing what the fish in your water like. Dan was saying that Creole catfishing hat is his new lucky hat. Got him into a nice channel cat. Now, when you're there's a good question, Realville. I was just about to pump that out there. What rig do you use for bumping?
It's always a 3-way. Use the a 3-way swivel on the top. You go down about, I don't know, 18 to 20 inches. Sometimes that will change to a ball chain swivel. And then from the ball chain swivel, you want to go down another 18 to 20 inches into a snelled circle hook or whatever hook you prefer. And that you want that coming on the outside of the 3-way swivel, because on the downside, you want your sinker leader. I like my sinker leaders to be about 18 to 20 inches where they're right butt up against that ball chain swivel.
Okay. And that ball and chain swivel, you feel in the heavy current that gives you less tangles and things like that?
Definitely.
That's the big thing with fishing current. You definitely got to have some swivels, and because that then it also leads into hey, Mark Knott, how's it going? Great to see you. Let's see who else came in here. If I missed you, I'm sorry, and if I missed a question, I get talking, and sometimes I don't see everything in chat. But yeah, definitely in current. It's not so much in lakes and ponds and stuff. It's not as important, but you get in current, you definitely need some extra swivels and stuff.
Well,
now, we had first. Go ahead.
Even dragging, you want that extra swivel in the middle when you're dragging, so that way, anytime that bait's moving along the bottom, down there doing whatever it's doing, if you don't have that extra twist, you're gonna get all kind of tangled up.
All right, Mark. I guess Mark is jumping out of here. Catfish and crappie. Appreciate you stopping in as always. Thank you so much for all the support, Mark. Have a happy 4th.
Let me go grab a rig. He wants to see one.
That's awesome, because I got somebody, I got to show them just a regular Santee rig. So I'll do that while you're gone. Okay. And we had a question the other night. Justin Pancho, he fishes lakes or ponds out. He fishes ponds out in, I think Arizona was where he was fishing at. And it's a lot of the smaller type ponds. Now, Justin, you're going to have to downsize it. You're going to have to downsize it, because this is for fishing here in the James River with, we're going after 60, 70, 80-pound fish. But what we have here is this is the circle hook we have at the bottom. It's a snelled circle hook. Up from there, we have what we use is there's a Uncle Lou's bead, Uncle Lou's rattle. And then this is just your regular peg float. So this is what floats that bait up. And what he wanted to know was how to float. What he wanted to know is how to float chicken livers up off the bottom in those ponds. So we'll start from up here. Here is your main line, and this is the sinker. Now, obviously, this is for fishing current. This is an 8 to 10 ounce egg sinker that we use here in the river. And then you've got a that goes down to a barrel swivel. From that barrel swivel, you've got a leader, and the leader goes down. Then you put yourself on a peg float like that. Like I said, we use Uncle Lou's. That's a rattle from Uncle Lou's, a bead from Uncle Lou's, and then a hook down there. Now, if you're going for like channel cats in your areas, Hilljack Catfishing's in the house. How's it going, Hilljack? I would drop that down to probably about a 3/0 hook. A 3/0 circle hook would probably be perfect for channel cats in that situation. 2/0 or 3/0 for those smaller community stock type ponds. You will still be able to catch the bigger channels, but you'll catch the smaller ones also. And so that's that one. The other rig that I recommend that I think you should try, it's a double Kentucky rig or a high-low rig. Let's see. Justin Fishing Fetish came in. Now, if anybody that wants to know how to tie that The best video that I've seen out there for it, I've recommended it a bunch of times, is on Fishing with the Chad. Has the double Kentucky rig video. He'll show you how to tie that. But it's basically a high-low rig. Your sinker's at the bottom. And you can, if you want to keep, in the wintertime, you want that first hook, you want that first dropper loop to be right down here in the colder water. You want that to be right down here by your sinker. So it is right at the bottom. But in the warmer waters, and Justin Poncho fishing those waters that you fish, I would put that, this is your sinker down at the bottom. I would put that bottom hook up about a good 18 inches or more. So that's up off those weeds in the bottom. And then you can do the same thing and put another hook up about 2 feet off the bottom. That'll automatically suspend those chicken livers up off the bottom and out of those weeds. There's a sinker on the bottom. But that's on Fishing with the Chad channel. Has great videos on how to tie that double Kentucky rig. That's the 2 rigs that I recommend for you. Let's see. All right. That was just something I told somebody from the other night, that we were trying to explain how to do what rigs to use to float some baits up off the bottom a little bit. So
yeah,
told them I do it tonight. So
I drift with that double hook rig a lot. Also, suspend drift with that.
Yeah, awesome, right? I love it. That's my favorite. That's actually my favorite rig. Maybe because I'm old school. I don't know.
You know, I've heard a lot of the older guys say that's the fish finder rig.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes them fish, you know, are 2 feet. Sometimes they can be 4 foot. It just depends on what they're doing that day. Or they can be down buried in the mud.
Yeah, that rig there, you can put, if you want to know exactly where your measurement is at, you just put that hook up however far up the leader, and you know, your bait is going to be exactly there. You know, so I love it.
That's a good thing about when you're suspend drifting, you're watching that depth finder, you can see that. You can see your sinker on the bottom. You can see that first bait. Then you can see that second bait on the screen going.
Justin Poncho, does anybody know if you can order stuff from Uncle Lou without Facebook? Yes, he has an email. I have it. Justin, you can email me and I can send you Uncle Lou's email unless somebody else can put it out there. But okay, so we're going to go back to the Justin Fishing Fetish is in the house. How's it going, Justin? Okay, that people were wondering about your bumping rigs. That I think would be a huge help.
This one here is just it's cut down for video purposes. I will show the big one after I show this one.
I'm going to put you on solo layout so everybody can see it better.
This one here, I snell the hook. That's an 8-aught Gamakatsu. I snell that, and I work from the bottom to the top. And then I go to the ball chain swivel. I do a polymer knot there. So like I said, this is just a small one for video purposes. I run this first leader line here, I run that about 18 to 20 inches. And then from the ball chain swivel to the regular 3-way swivels, I run about another 18 to 20 inches. And you notice that's coming on the downside for the hook. And then on the down, what you want it in line with your main line, so that way you get the better feel. And all I do is tie a little overhand knot on both of them, and then I can interchange the sinkers as needed.
Mike, that is my favorite knot for interchanging things. That the surgeon's knot or overhand knot, or there's a bunch of names for it. Double loop knot and
here you go. And this another thing I've been doing a lot here lately. Been doing that stinger hook, and he's been that caught that little fish the other day. So, but just to show you how long that is, you know, there's the hook, and you want 18 to 20 inches there, and then another 18 to 20 inches, and then down to on the downside you want your sinker.
And now with bumping or dragging or whatever with that, depending on how far up you want your bait in that water column, you would just lengthen or shorten that line down to the sinker. Is that correct?
Yes. I always I always started out. That's perfect right there. I always started out with it right next to the ball chain swivel. That's why I always start out. If I'm not getting any bites, I'll shorten it or make it either longer. It just depends. Because I mean, if they're down in the mud, I'll make that thing real short, and it'll have that, them baits flopping right in front of them. That's my goal. Have it right in front of them. Make them at it.
That is awesome. I think that'll help for people that want to try bumping. I would suggest it. That's but that rig there will work for a lot of conditions, not just bumping. That's even for dragging. I know Stan 3 uses the 3-way a lot for dragging. And
when I'm dragging with that rig though, I'll change them around. I'll have the sinker coming on the outside, and then the main line in line with the main line. So I will switch them around when I'm dragging from when I'm bumping. That way, when you got that drift sinker, that dragging weight, I guess you call it, when you got it on the outside, it's more likely to go along the bottom like this, and it'll come up over stuff.
Now for for bumping, what sinkers do you normally use? What sinker works best?
The best sink you can get for bumping is the Cannonball sinkers. You got so much there that's hitting the bottom. And I can use a bank sinker because I've been doing this for so long that I can feel a 2-ounce sinker, 200 yards out. But I've been doing it for a long time.
That's crazy.
Those Cannonball sinkers, you got so much more feel that bumping off of that bottom. And when you're bumping along, you can feel the difference when you get to a mud bottom or when you get to a really hard bottom. You'll be like, oh, that's different. That's different. And when you feel something like that, get ready.
That's one thing that I think like bass fishing. I used to, when we lived in upstate New York, I used to do a lot of bass. We didn't have the big, huge catfish, so we had pike and bass and smallmouth bass. So we did a lot of bottom type fishing. When you're fishing a bait like that with your sinker on the bottom, just like you said, that is really like another fish finder there, another sonar unit. It's like another electronic because you literally can start to detect hard bottom, soft bottom, weeds, mud, sand. You really can start to detect the difference. And that's a huge help.
I have noticed that whenever I feel a change in the bottom like that, hold on because you're about to get a bite.
I agree totally with that. That's one thing that I've been picking up on. We got Angel Honeycutt in. What's up from the husband and wife team from St. Louis, Missouri. Great to see you, Angel.
Tell him, Creole, that braid and muskrat Roger, that braid and that sensitive rod, man, you can feel stuff you never thought you'd be able to feel.
Yeah, that's I've been the chain swivels work way better than a single swivel. And the swivel that you had with the 2 barrels connected together, do you feel that 3-way works better than that old style 3-way where it was that? They work way better. All right.
I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but I just feel like they're stronger also.
Awesome.
If anybody wanted to know, on my rigs, I use 60-pound mono for my leader line. And on my main line for my bumping, I use 50-pound braid. And I've been trying to have 2 setups. So if I take somebody with me that's never bumped before, I want them to have 50-pound braid and then 60-pound leaders because it really does make a difference. If I'm over here bumping a 50-pound braid and you've got that 80 is going to float up a little more. So you might have to have a little bit more weight. And so the speed's going to be different for us. So I really like us to be the same.
That makes a lot of sense. That's awesome.
You can ask Creole. Roger's been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Number one thing in bumping is boat control. If you can't control that boat, I don't care how good, what kind of rod you got, what kind of sinker you got. If you can't get that boat right, you're not going to feel anything down the bottom.
All right. So if anybody is looking to go into bumping, like I said, if you're not down with Mike Greenwell yet, his link is out in the description. Part of tonight was about what we've been doing, is talking about it. The other part is I really appreciate, really love what Mike Greenwell puts out there on video. A lot of great information. So we want to try to get him to 4K watch hours. Like you said, he had a couple of really big videos that had some good watch time dropped off from him. So if there's anything we can do to help get those watch times up, he's got some great videos, some great playlists out there. We can go ahead and run that. That would be awesome. You'll learn a lot of stuff. Not necessarily bumping, bumping, but that's one thing that I think that you can learn, whether you're a bank fisherman, boat fisherman, kayak. Watch all the videos from everybody, because it'll give you ideas. If you're primarily a boat fisherman or a bank fisherman and you see different things, after a while you'll start to come up with ideas on how to use those same techniques. It's not going to be the same thing, but you'll learn how to, like, kind of, okay, I'm going to see how I can rig this a little different and use it on the bank or use it from the boat, or different things. So there's a lot of information on catfish there in general. So that'd be great if you could help us out and get him over that 4K watch hours. That's the main thing tonight. We got Fishing with Paula Smith has jumped in. Hello, Paula. How you doing? We had some great questions. We got any other questions? I
seen Roger. He said something about using the 80-pound braid in the slower current. And believe it or not, I do have a separate reel with 80-pound braid for when we're going out and we want to bump and we do have slow current. That 80-pound braid will hold up a little longer. So I tell you, when we chase that current, we chase that current. And Creo, what Creo say? What's the deepest? 70. I think it was 75 foot was the deepest fish we've caught bumping.
70 foot?
70, 75, something like that. He was down. There's a deep hole up above the Newburgh Dam up there in a bend, and we was bumping that, and he came out of it.
And that brings up another thing. When you are fishing those deeper holes, the care of the fish is a real concern. When you get those fish coming up from them deeper holes, we were just out on that last video where we caught that 60-pounder with a green machine on that little rod. That was a little bit deeper hole. I think we got him down from about 40 foot. We were suspend drifting with those little the little Dock Demon rods, and we managed to get a 60-pounder. And as it's coming up, obviously you can't horse it with that small of a rod, so it actually helped out in the fight. Be bringing it up slowly. It was releasing the bubbles itself, and you can see the bubbles coming up out of it. But when you are fishing, when you are bringing fish up from that deep, you may have to do some burping. You want to take your time. You don't want to just horse it right up to the surface. That'll happen a lot with the littler ones. You'll get that littler one, and you think you can just crank it. Just take your time, even with the smaller ones, so that they don't get their bellies distended. And we want to release them all the right way, so they're all getting back out there healthy.
And let's just say, just because I use 50-pound braid when I'm bumping doesn't mean the next person has to. The only thing I'm meaning by that is if you and whoever's in the boat have the same setup. So that way one of them is not up here, one of them is down here, and it's messing with the speeds and all that. So if you both have a 100-pound braid, you're good to go.
And that brings up another topic of not everybody has the opportunity to fish great water systems like you do. What rivers do you fish a lot in? The Ohio?
The Ohio River and the Green River.
The Green River. And, we fish the James River here. Paula Smith is the Tennessee. Roger Muskrat is the Ohio. Creo is out there. Got to burp them from Creole's out there in the Mississippi. So there's monster catfish in those rivers. There's monster current in those rivers. If you're fishing a river system or a lake that doesn't have that same type of situation, you can adjust your if you're going out with heavy gear and the biggest fish in the water system that you're fishing is a 15-pound channel cat or a 10-pound channel cat, you're not going to have fun out there with heavy gear, 80-pound line. You got to match your gear to the fish that you're going after. So that's right, Creole's way out there.
I tell you, when I get a little bit more comfortable with the new boat and just everything, I'm going to be making some trips down to the Mississippi River because I'm really only about 2.5 hours from where the Mississippi and the Ohio meet. So really? I got to get down there, and I do have to. This boat only came with a 55-pound trolling motor. Before I go tackling the Mississippi River, I'm going to have to upgrade it to at least a 24-volt, 70 or 80 pound.
We got some more awesome people came in. Palmetto Cats is in. Fishing Chick came in. I didn't get to say hello to my fishing sister from another Mr. Fishing Chick. And Poncho, I saw y'all talking. Fishing Chick is out there from Arizona. Hilljack Catfishing is in. Jay Fox Hunter. 35 awesome people. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Fishing Chick asked if you can bump in shallow water. If you got current, you can bump in 2 foot. As long as you got current, you can bump anywhere.
All right, Mike, we have every experience level out there in chat, from beginner to people that have bumped for a while now. Just give a basic explanation of bumping.
Bumping, just a second. I think I might actually have it. I wrote this down a long time ago, and bumping is walking a bait downriver in current, lifting the bait and sinker up a few inches off the bottom of the river to let it move downriver to cover ground. Can be done while the boat is moving or anchored. With the boat moving, you want the bow of the boat facing upriver. You want to slow the boat down with the trolling motor. For me, on the Ohio River, usually half the current speed. It doesn't have to be everywhere, but usually it's about half. But you want to adjust as needed to keep the sinker in contact with the bottom of the river. A 3-ounce cannonball or bank sinker usually works for me on the Ohio River, but some instances you may need to go up or down in size. When speed is right, you want to drop a bait down, let it hit the bottom, lift and drop the rod while feeling it hit the bottom. Let line out or adjust speeds to maintain sinker in contact with the bottom. And from a boat anchored or a spot lock position, this technique will require a heavier sinker because the boat is not moving unless there is light current. But you want to throw the line out, let it hit the bottom, and then the same thing. As soon as you feel it touch the bottom, you want to lift it up. And you feel that sinker and that bait just walking downriver. If I know there's fish stacked up on a tree and we've anchored on them and we just cannot get them to bite, we'll go up about 50, 75 yards and we'll spot lock and we'll get a 2-ounce sinker and the biggest, bloodiest piece of bait you can get and draw them out of there.
Okay. All right. And we got 37 awesome people watching. Jacob's in here. Uncle Jeep made it in. How's it going, Uncle Jeep? I appreciate that definition. And I hate to say it, but a lot of bass fishermen and people that fish walleyes and things like that can relate to that type of fishing. And there's situations on the bank where if you're fishing from like a peninsula and it's out into like that current where you can, that's one of the things that I'm looking at as far as bumping from I do a lot of bank fishing. Luckily, lately I've been lucky enough to get it going out with Green Machine and his boat, and we've got a little John boat that we get out in every once in a while. But myself, I fish a lot from the bank, so there's a couple of spots here in the James where there's some wing dikes that get out there, and it's close to the current, where that same type of would be like the boat being anchored. and just kind of walking it down the current. So that's what I'm trying to look at from the bank. But yeah, I have found that a lot of times, especially during a finicky bite, sometimes that moving the bait, they see that bait going by and it becomes like a natural thing to them. Where normally if it's just anchored and sitting there in current, they're like, hey, this is, what's going on? And they may do that little peck. They see that bait going past them and they're like, free food, wham. And
I like to call it like a reaction bite. Something's coming past them. They ain't really got time to think about it. Either they're going to bite it or they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're getting that short bite, you're getting that little boom, try some things like suspend drifting, the bumping, the moving the baits, things like that. That I have experienced that myself within the past few months. That is actually an awesome technique for getting those baits, getting those fish to bite more aggressively. Is get the bait moving.
I tell you something that just happened probably 2 weeks ago. I was out with my buddy Dave, and we wasn't paying attention to the depth finder. And we got into some stuff that we was suspend drifting, and the depth went from, I think we was drifting at like 42, and it dropped down to 32 on us, and neither one of us was paying attention. So we had every rod we had hung up. We was tying, retying, and he got one tied, and he was just in a hurry to get to fishing again. So he just put an 8-ounce sinker on there, and he just started dropping it straight down and just bouncing the bottom straight underneath the boat. We caught the biggest fish of the day just doing that.
It's crazy. It's when I'm suspend drifting, I usually have the rod. Well, I say usually. It's a new thing for me because it's something that I've just started doing, going out with Dan and Stan 3. But I like to have that. You can see the rod tip going up and down, and you can see when it hits bottom. And I know a lot of times suspend drifting, you want to up off that a little bit. I really like having it just where it's almost like bumping from the boat, where that sinker is just barely nicking that. And I'm kind of constantly watching over at the depth finder, and I'm adjusting, raising, lowering. But you can a lot of times you don't even got to watch the depth finder. If you're doing it that way, where you've got that sinker just barely nicking that bottom, you can see on a suspended pole when it hits, because you can see when it hits. And I want to see it it'll go down and it'll kind of just stop right there, and it'll bounce up and then it stops right there. And then if it's just kind of bouncing back and forth like this, I know I got to lower it a little bit. And if it's, stuck down there, you got to raise it up a little bit. But I want it where it's constantly. So it's almost like I suspend drift, almost similar to like the way you were describing bumping, where I almost want that sinker constantly just nicking the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. And that's the way that I suspend drift. But yeah, it's a super effective way to fish. Let's see, was there Parker Pursuits is out there? How's it going? Was there any other questions out there that I missed? Because Mike's been picking up on most of the questions.
That's another good thing that Creo is talking about. When suspending, them fish will hit and then swim up. All right, and I've also had them hit and swim sideways. You just kind of look at your line. You're like, hey, where's that? Wait, that's a fish. Where are you going? It just takes off 20 foot to the side before you even know it.
Yeah, I think that's where it's similar with a lot of these methods of where when you have your bait moving, you really have to be paying attention to the rods, to the movement on the rod, the line. Any little thing can tell you that, like you said, sometimes they'll hit and come up, and you see where, you've got that. It's suspended and it's got tension on the line. All of a sudden it comes up like this. Well, there's a reason that happened.
We was drifting one day, and I had a medium rod, and that rod, it just started going down so slowly. I was great. I'm hung up. So I get up, and by the time I stand up and I actually look at the rod, then it starts hammering down. We caught a 34-pound flathead drifting, and he just eased that rod down. And then when the hook actually got inside him, that's when he got mad.
And I don't know if it's because of the way that we normally fish here, but in the James, we've had more luck with flatheads with cut bait. We use fresh. Fresh is always best. If you can get the fresher your fish, the fresher your bait, the better it is here in the James. You know, it may be different in other parts, but and in talking with Creole, talking with Epic, I talk to Creole, so you know. I'm talking with Epic. Those fresh cut bait, if you catch it and cut it, even though it's cut bait, it's still putting off an electrical impulse for like up to 3 or 4 hours. Plus that fresh slime coat, it smells like it's a live fish. They can't really detect the difference whether it's cut or, you know, if it's a fresh live bait or a fresh cut bait. They think it's they see it as a live bait. So we've caught more flatheads here on fresh cut bait than we have using live bait.
My personal best flathead, 44 pounds, came on a piece of cut frozen skipjack.
Wow.
So, I mean, you put it in front of them. If they're hungry, they're going to eat.
And there you go. That's the other benefit of doing a lot of the suspend drifting and bumping and things like that is you're going to put your bait in front of more active fish than if it's just sitting in one spot and the fish are coming up to it or they've got to try to find it. So I think that's a benefit also.
That was another night that we went out and we was drifting. We couldn't buy a bite, and it started raining on us. So we put the top up and we went and anchored on one of the community trees. And I don't know if we just caught it just right, fish running up and down that ledge, but we sit there and caught like 4 30-pound fish back to back to back. I mean, it was awesome. All frozen bait.
All on frozen. Well, that brings up another point. Frozen bait is better than no bait. If I had my choice, I want fresh. If I can't have that, I'd rather have frozen than none. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's right.
You always, even if you, we ran into the this past weekend or the weekend before, we've had zero issue finding fresh shad anywhere along the James River. Well, this past Sunday, the Sunday before, we went out there and we couldn't buy a shad. We put gill nets out in the James River. You're allowed to use gill nets for catching shad, and you've got to be within a certain feet of them, and et cetera, et cetera. You can only have them out for a certain period of time. So it's strictly for bait. You don't run them straight across the river. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it. But yeah, 4 hours we were trying to catch bait. We caught 2 shad in 4 hours. But
Oh my God.
it's like the shad just disappeared that day. And it'll happen. And for months it's been shad city everywhere. There was shad. But yeah, so on
those skipjack, or as Creole calls them, slickers, they'll do that same thing here. I remember I took Sharina and Thomas, and I really wanted them to catch some skipjack because they're fun to catch. They're almost as fun to catfish. But I took them up there and we could not catch a skipjack. I went the very next day and I caught about 150. It's crazy.
So point being, always have a plan B bait with you just in case. Because like we said, any bait is better than no bait at all. So
I know I always look for people on the bank when I'm coming in to give them my old bait to, because I'm not going to take bait. And if it's thawed, I will not take that bait home and refreeze it and use it. That's just me. I won't do it. So I'll see people along the bank, and most of the time they're using chicken liver. So if I cut a head off a skipjack and I'm like, hey, this is how you hook it and you do this, and I had a guy, he actually commented on my Greenwell Fishing page, and he said, that bait you gave me, I caught my biggest fish I've ever caught. I caught me a 20-pound blue cat.
There you go. Isn't that something? And
that was
you talk about being an ambassador to catfishing, and you're teaching somebody like that, and they kind of get into what you're doing, and then they may be, that person may have been one of those people that kept everything that they caught, and all of a sudden they start seeing that little different way, and you were that ambassador that kind of taught them, hey, maybe I don't got to keep everything. I can, you know, practice some CPR and do some different things. And it's just, I think that's awesome. I think that's why these shows are so great. I think that's why your channel is great, passing on that information. And, you know, the catfish always comes first. And, you know, I really love that part of YouTube with it.
Well, hey, brother, I got some freshly cooked bacon over there waiting for me. I better get on over and make some bacon.
I know. I appreciate you. I said that it was, you said you only had a couple minutes, and it's been a whole hour. So y'all got any other questions before Mike goes and hails that bacon? I appreciate you coming on, Mike. Again, go ahead.
I appreciate you having me on, and I'm going to share you out, and we're going to get you to 1,000.
Oh, wow.
We got to get you to 1,000, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This community is awesome. You get these people out there with like minds. And so Mike Greenwell, Bumping Mike Greenwell. If you've liked any of the things that we've talked about today, his link is out in the description. Go check him out. We're getting him over the 4K. Mike,
and, my messenger is always on. If anybody's got any questions, contact me over there. If you want, the Greenwell Fishing page on Facebook is always open. Put questions on there. I'm an open book. I don't hide anything from anybody.
That is awesome. So there you go. Muskrat's gonna send you on out of here in the right way. Keep on bumping, brother. All right, Mike. Thanks for coming in. We're gonna keep on pushing.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Yes, that's awesome, Mike. Appreciate Mike coming in. That was awesome. Like I said, he's been over the 1,000 mark, but needs those 4K watch hours. So if we can get him, all right, Justin Pancho, I'm glad you're still out there. Here is the basic. This is my favorite rig. It's called a high-low rig. It's called a double Kentucky rig. It's called a drop loop rig. There's a lot of different names for it. But basically, it's just you start out with the bottom part of the line, and I just got a loop knot in there. And that's what I put the sinker on. You just put it through, and then you can change the sinker for whatever kind of sinker you want. And if I'm fishing cold water and no weeds, I want my first hook. I only want it up. I mean, I want it real close to the bottom. If I'm fishing weedy bottom, or I want that bait up off the bottom a little bit, I raise that first dropper loop, and I'll have it up to a foot or more. There's the sinker. There's the sinker at the bottom, and I'll have that first one up like that. And, you know, if I'm wanting to, then I could put another one, and you can have 2 hooks in, and you can have them basically at any depth you want. Fishing with the Chad, he has a great video on how to tie this exact rig. He'll show you there's a jig that he made on how to tie this rig and everything. So that's my favorite rig. It's I've used it saltwater, freshwater, creeks, lakes. When I bottom fish, that's what I'm using most of the time. And the other one is just your regular Carolina rig or the Santee rig. And the only difference is the Santee rig has a float on it, and the Santee rig has a float on it, and the Carolina rig has no float. But it's basically your main line. You got your swivel. I mean, you got your sinker on your main line with a bead, goes to a swivel. And then you've got your leader, and you can use whatever length leader you want. And if it's a Carolina rig, it's just it's just a hook on the leader. If it's a Santee rig, you got your barrel swivel, you got your leader, you got a float, I've been using the rattles lately from Uncle Lou's, and then you've got your hook at the end of that. So those are the two main rigs that most of us will use, and you can pretty much adjust fish anywhere in the water column with those. That'll work out. Let's see. Stephen Corley made it in. Skins has been dropping the links. Thank you very much, Skins. Hilljack is looking to break that 300 mark. He's going to be out next week fishing with palmetto cats, and that should be going on Hilljack's channel. So you're going to need to be with him to see that. We got fishing with Paula Smith. Definitely want to try to get her up. If you're not with her, you want to see some monster catfish, check out Fishing with Paula Smith. Takedown Catfishing, Kenneth Powell's in the house. Creole Catfishing, Michael live from the Mississippi, if there's enough signal. New territory, so not sure. Oh, new territory, new job, finding you some new spots there, Creole. Mike's in chat enjoying the bacon sandwich. I appreciate you staying so long, Mike. He said he only had a few minutes and ended up staying an hour. Great info. My brain is smoking with all this knowledge. Well, Fishing Chick, you've got my information. Feel free to contact me anytime. Contact me on Messenger. We can even call and talk if you want. I am always willing to help pass anything along. Bottom Feeders Hooked Up is going to be on Avid's show, and their Skin and Scales just put that out there. So he's going to be Bottom Feeders Hooked Up he took third place in. He was down in sudden death with me and Bex on the Iron Cat that just happened last weekend from the bank on Palmetto's channel. Parker Pursuits. Fishing a new lake tomorrow night. We'll go live. All right, Parker, we'll be looking for that. Thank you, thank you. That's right. Sharing is caring. That's what we try to do here on 2Stans Fishing. So we got to share the bacon. I might have to use that one. That's going to be a... We may call this, Patriot calls it sharing the love, sharing the bait. Well, we may have to start calling this sharing the bacon. So let's see. I will, we still got 30 awesome people in here. We've talked about a bunch of stuff, but let's, there we go. I just dropped the link out there. John Boy's Catfishing. How's it going? How's it going? Roger Anderson is there. How you doing, my friend? Hope all is going well with you. Never share bacon. Never. There's Hilljack with the link again. But yes, y'all want to check out Bottom Feeders Hooked Up on Avid's channel on the 8th of July. I've been using liver. I've done all right. That seems to be worked the best. And Justin, you fish a lot for channel cats, so that is a good bait for that. You can try the chicken breast cut up with the jello. That seems to be a good bait also for especially for channel cats. Night crawlers is an awesome bait for channel cats. The only thing with using night crawlers in a lot of the ponds and stuff that you fish is you will get a lot of small sunfish, bluegills, whatever you want to call them. They will pick on that a lot. And speaking of sunfish, bluegills, another thing you can do just to try it out, and it may help you catch some of the biggest channel cats that are in those waters is you can catch a couple of the bluegills or sunfish and cut them up into chunk bait, small chunk bait. Cut the head, use the head as a piece of bait, cut other chunks off the sunfish, and you can use that as cut bait. Cut bluegill is a very good bait for channel cats. Chad Nolte in the house. Oh, there's another one. Some of the baits that you buy, the Team Catfish fiber nuggets, awesome for channel cats. A lot of the dough baits and the prepared baits like that. Oh, sorry, fell asleep. You fishing tomorrow? Let's see. Tomorrow, I've got some things going on. I'll be fishing Sunday morning, stand day morning, of course. Next week, if I don't know, I know you've got some situations going on there with the family. Sorry to hear that, Austin, but if you want to get out any of the days next week, we should be able to do that. Fishing with Paula Smith says they're starting to eat mussels. Hilljack, I'm going to hit my 1K this year, and that is my goal. We've been doing this for I think our first video was, we did our first live in last October. Last October is when we actually started, and when I started earlier today, we were at 906, so. Yes, Dale, that was, Green Machine was definitely fishing some great section of water there on the James. Justin, my email is, a lot of channels' emails is basically their YouTube name, followed by @aboutgmail.com. So here ours is the number 2Stans Fishing, just no spaces, 2Stans Fishing @gmail.com. A lot of people, that's what their actual email is, would be their channel name. But let's see who we have popped up in here. Maybe a familiar face to most of y'all. Let's see if we can bring him in here. Wow, look at that. It's Friday night all over again.
Oh, this brings back memories, don't it?
It sure does. I got to tell you, my wife was laughing. I was watching the Creole. Of course, you know me, Creole catfish and family since day one.
Yeah,
that's right. I was watching the Creole videos the other night, and my wife says, you haven't talked to Creole in a while. What are you missing here? I said, yeah, man, it's weird. I was talking to him.
Yeah, it's look, work's been busy, but we got a long weekend, and we got rained out today early, so I got to come home early, and then I had the next 3 days off. So we fixing to hit the river hard.
There you go. So how's the new job coming? As far as I hear you're fishing new territories. So is that is there coincidence with that, or?
Well, actually, this is the spot that I scouted right before I started the new job. It's actually a little further south than what I normally fish in the Mississippi. It's a place that a buddy of mine has been telling me about for quite a while. I just never made my way down. We had gone once before, took the boat, scanned it with the sonar, mapped it, really checked it out, and now I'm going to throw some baits at it. So I'm really, really, really excited to go see what monsters lie at the bottom of there.
Well, look at there. You got all your Creole fans out there. Love to hear Creole talk. Uncle Jeep was Creole catfishing. Chad Nolte, hey, Creole. Hey, do we got Judy Booty? Did Judy Booty come in the house? I see fishing with Paula Smith saying Judy Booty.
chat anymore. I'm just doing this on my phone. In fact, I was outside, kind of rigged my rods, got everything set up in the boat, just trying to. For my son.
Hey, Caleb, how are you?
In fact, he's gonna be coming with us in the morning too.
Awesome. You like going out fishing with Pops? You do a great job out on the boat. I love watching you fishing out there. There you go.
He goes for the snacks. I'm telling you, he goes for the snacks.
Nothing wrong with that.
Can't get him to reel in a fish yet. He hadn't been interested in it yet. All he's worried about is the snacks and opening the ice chest to throw the slicker in whenever we catch him. That's his job.
Well, he does a great job at that. We've seen that on video. So
right, that's his job.
Maybe that day will come. He gets that first one, and
well, at least
you know what?
Now, when we do put a big one in the boat, he doesn't run to the other side of the boat like now at the fish. We're getting there, little by little.
So we got
Paula, I checked it right now. We're at the gauge called Red River Landing, and right now the Mississippi just finished dropping, and now it's fixing to go back up real hard. So we're right there in that bottom of that peak. Hopefully, I'm timing it right, and we'll and the fish will want to feed up a little bit before that water wants to kick back up high. Hopefully, gonna find out.
And we've got Roger Anderson had the cancer surgery. Surgery is done, Paula. I'm healing up now.
Very good.
About 4 weeks out from picking up a rod again. Can't wait. God bless everyone.
Hey, that's
awesome. Of course, Roger. You're our brother in this fishing family. We love you. We love you. We appreciate you being out there. And if I'm gonna try to pull a Babe Ruth, I'm gonna try to do the me. I shoot big all the time.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to get out there this stand day and catch a big catfish for Roger Anderson there, just for him.
There you go. Like I said,
point center field.
If I've got the phone signal, I'm gonna try to go live tomorrow while we're out there, and we'll hopefully put some fish in the boat. We'll see how it goes.
That would be awesome because we all love Creole catfishing. We're all part of that Creole catfishing family.
Trying to knock over my phone.
Yeah. There you go. Skins is dropping the links out there. So if you're not, I'm sure everybody in here already is, but if you're not down with Creole catfishing, I don't know what you're waiting for. Jump on in there with my friend Creole. I'm surprised that he hasn't just blown past all of us, but that's going to happen one day. I keep saying, I've said that from day one, Creole. It's just one of these days, it's just going to and it's just going to go on a skyrocket.
Really, what gets me is the number one rule of YouTube is consistency. And I might post a video a week for about a month, and then I'll go a month without posting one. If you're not consistent, it does affect how fast you grow. But hey, work comes first. You post videos when you can, and hey, look, it's all there is to it.
That's right. I've been blessed with being lucky enough to get to go stand day every Sunday with Stand 3, and now we've had Dan going out with us, a Green Machine going out a lot of times, and I mean, sometimes that.
Yeah, and that consistency of doing it every Sunday morning at the same time, that's the whole key to YouTube right there. That's why I know some people they'll upload a video to YouTube, but you can actually delay when it goes public for a certain day and a certain time. You can set that on YouTube. I've done it before to where my video uploaded on a Tuesday, but I might purposely delay it till a Thursday, thinking that's when I wanted to do my videos. Let's say 5 o'clock on Thursday, whatever that time is. You can't necessarily have to make it public at the moment it uploads. You can't delay it.
Well, there you go. That's been the one big thing that no matter who I've talked to, is they have said consistency, consistent, and it's not easy.
No.
Even doing the Friday night show that we did for those 8 weeks or whatever, it was awesome being able to spend the time with you, but I know that you know, you got the family life going and the job life going and the fishing life going.
When the last time you did a Friday night show, I was listening to it while running one of the tractors with the scrapers. Most dark. I was listening the whole time, but I was, yeah, it was dry. We were trying to move dirt while it was dry, you know? We might be. We might be. Because let me tell you something. It just rained a bunch. We got plenty of mud. So if now my oldest son is not here this weekend. He won't be back till Monday. So that might be a next weekend thing, but there's plenty of mud.
Yeah. So, Skin's saying I got to get an 80-pounder this week for Roger.
Ooh, I would love that. That would be a new boat record for us. I would love that.
There we go. So we both got to do it. Both of us, same weekend, we catch an 80-pounders, Creo. What, are you up for it?
Oh, hey, I'm always up for it. I'm up. I'm still sticking to it. I'm gonna catch a triple-digit fish before the year's up. I'm just determined, and where I'm going tomorrow, they've been caught there before. You know, not a lot, but they're there. You know, supposedly that spot when the rod goes down, it's big. So we're gonna find out.
Wow, there's quite the offer from Paula Smith there. She says she's got to go. Of course, you know we love Paula Smith here. Paula's our family, so
that's right.
Anyone who wants a Paula Smith hat or shirt, PM me. They are free in appreciation for everyone's support. Love to y'all and God bless. Well, God bless you, Paula. We're gonna keep pushing. Paula needs to get to 1,000.
Absolutely.
So fishing with Paula Smith, y'all definitely need to. If you want to see some monster cats, we talk about those huge catfish.
And you know, and there's two things that make Paula special. Okay, one is the fact that in our family, okay, in our catfishing community, she's really the only true professional angler out of all of us. She's the only one. And two, you will not find a person on this planet with more passion for the catfish as a species and for the sport as Miss Paula. You will not find any more passion than her. I promise you that.
And what I love about it is you do not have to mention the word female. Take that out of the equation. We're talking about anglers. She brings up female a lot, and we don't think of it that way. No. She is just one of the best anglers I know.
Yeah, that's it. Male, female, cat, dog, yep. Matter. She's at top tier. You know, it's simple as that.
Yes, we have a lot of love and respect for Paula Smith. So we'll let you get on out of here, Paula. But there's her. She put her email in there. So that is awesome. Skins and Scales, Paula Smith is awesome. That's right. Anybody that can catch a catfish dang near as big as they are, they earned my respect. You know what I'm saying?
Better believe it. and to do it in the waters that she fishes, you know, that's a whole other thing. Paula does not fish the best waters there is in the country, yet she's pulling these massive fish out of them. I'd love to see what she would do if I would turn her loose like where I fish, where we've got a lot of monsters. Yeah. It would be incredible to see someone of her caliber fish waters like that, to see what they could do. It would blow people's minds.
Well, Creel, you know, one thing I've learned, that the reason that I want to fish with her, and a lot of these shows, I like that, and talking with you and talking with Roger and Epic, and the big thing with that is if you're a smart person, you pick up a little bit from everybody. Every time I go out in the boat with Green Machine, I'm looking at the charts. I'm looking at, you know, I'm talking all the time. Anytime I go fishing with anybody, anytime I'm talking with anybody, there's a little bit going right there. So that's why I would love to fish with her.
Oh,
It's not. It has nothing to do with the spot. It's more about
no.
why are you fishing it? What are you looking for?
What made you stop there and throw a bait there?
Skins and Scales is another one. Loved fishing with him. I picked up a lot with him every time we went out. Every time you go fishing with somebody, that's what I challenge everybody to do. I don't care if you. It could be somebody that's never fished before.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention. They can come up with something that you've never thought of. And but yeah, fishing with Paula Smith. I think that my catfish education, I would go from here. I think I'd graduate a whole year.
I would love to just be in her boat and just sit back and watch and pay attention. Like class session. That's it. That's the quiet you would ever hear me ever in my life.
Yeah.
I'm this right here. That's it.
All right. Well, you want to hear something, Creole? And you may not believe this. I would not even talk. I would just be.
Brother.
The only word you would hear me say is, "Can I get the net?"
No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, "I got the net. I got it. I got it."
Lee Evans, my brother Creole has got a new position, new job. So that's number one right now. And I'm glad that he jumped in. As you can see, the smile on my face has got bigger. I love talking with my brother Creole.
Rainy weather will bring me in. Let me tell you.
Everybody's showing a lot of respect for Paula. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And another thing. How many other people in our little fat catfish family have a rod named after them? I don't, that's for sure.
Well,
I'm talking.
You know what? I just like that half of my name is part of that signature series. The Smith part is in this.
Nice try. Nice.
Hey, Creole, you know me. I gotta try.
I'm sporting my 1 ton hat tonight. Just got it in the mail the other day.
I saw that. I'm glad you brought that up. I was fishing with last weekend with LG Bass and Catfish Regulators, and Art from 1 Ton came down, and Josh from 1 Ton. Well, there you go. Apparently, I have a name rod out. It's only 1 rod though, but
hey, 1 more than I got. Hey, my rod.
Well, thank you, Lee. You just made my night. I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I've got 2 rods now in my boat that are named. One is named Uncle, and the other is named Luke. I'll probably be able to show you why. 2 of them.
Well, we can't wait to see that tomorrow. Hopefully. Cell phone signal. Now, no matter what I'm filming, I'm going to make a video out of it no matter what. But I'd much rather do a live because A, I hadn't talked to anybody in a while, and B, I don't have to edit. Yeah. There you go.
I actually live on my channel in a very long time. It's overdue. It is past.
Yep. I would totally agree. It's overdue. Paula says, "You guys are the greatest. Very lucky to have you all. Good night." We're lucky to have you too, Paula. Good night to you. Glad things are going well. Enjoy that boat.
Yeah.
There we go. That may be 2 rods for me.
You got one of me already.
They're gonna make me blush. You know what I'm saying? It's
I knew you already blushing. If I wouldn't be so scruffy, you maybe see me do it. Can't tell. I ain't shaved in like a long time.
I know you like me, Creole. I know you're like me that we just simple people, and to have the support, have people say things like that, just
it blows my mind sometimes. I never, when I first started doing this YouTube thing, I think I've been at it for like a year and a half, and it is unbelievable to me where we've gotten with it in this. I mean, I'm not even at 1,000 yet, but it's just blows my mind sometimes. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I know, you know, at least with me, you knew kind of, okay, he's a homeboy. He understood, appreciate the Louisiana life, and I could associate with it and stuff. But people across the country love Creole catfishing, and
it's now apparently, because I've had quite a few people confirm this. Apparently, my hats are good luck when you take up fish. I didn't plan it that way, but I've had time after time after time people tell me like, "Oh man, I wore your hat today and we tore them up," or you know, I caught a fish for the first time in I don't know how long. It's probably a coincidence, but hey, you know what? I'm gonna roll with it. I'm not gonna argue.
hey, Creole, you know, you got that Creole voodoo going on, the Cajun voodoo. You just let it alone. It works.
It actually started off as a joke. I forget who it was. I sent somebody a hat, and they were talking about having some bad luck. And I said, hey, don't worry about it. I put a little bit of my voodoo on that hat for you. Whenever you get it, your luck's gonna change. And it just happened the first time my hat was worn. He started catching fish. I can't remember who it was, but it kind of started that way, and it's been that way ever since.
Yeah, well, you know, that's that mystique about Louisiana. There's it needs, you know, we're talking about mystique. There's some lights going on in the background there.
Oh yeah. Well, that's actually bugs in my carport light.
But you know, that's the Louisiana. It should be a country all upon itself. You know what I mean? It's just
oh yeah, and then I don't know if other states are like this, but if you travel from anywhere in Louisiana, if you travel 50 miles, any direction you want, it's a totally different world. It's a different people. It's a different culture. The accent changes. You know, I don't know if other states are like that, but like me, I can tell exactly where somebody's from by the way they talk. And it's very obvious, you know. You go north or south of me, the accent is drastically different than the way.
oh yeah, without a doubt. And the food changes, everything. Yep.
Everything, even what we call certain things changes. If you drive 30 miles north of my house, they don't call them sac-a-lait anymore. They call them white perch. You know, like I said, everything changes as you go around here. It's weird.
There's our good friend PD Fishing. How can I grow up to be like Creole?
Oh, hey, as long as you don't grow up to look like me, you'll be all right. Oh, I don't recommend that part.
Yeah, my wife says that you and I are long lost brothers. She sees a resemblance. So.
I'm not in the sticker business just yet. I'm waiting for the work schedule on the job to kind of settle down a little bit where it's kind of predictable. Maybe this winter things slow down. I've been thinking about making like a big run of a whole bunch of stickers, like not one time thing, but like once a year. Boom, here's my stickers, send them all out. I also thought about doing some printing my logo on some koozies, you know, beer koozies. I don't know, just something I had rolling around in my head.
And who doesn't need a good beer koozie or Coke koozie or whatever you want to call it? That's
Dude, they hand them out at wedding receptions. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. They'll have the couple's names and the date they got married on the beer koozie. There's like a big barrel of them.
Well,
Yeah.
the rest of the country don't need the beer koozies for the glass of champagne at the weddings. You know what I'm saying? So
we also have wooden boats iced down of adult beverages. That's okay, you know.
And the hat blowing off thing, that was when I went out with Skin and Scales. We had LG Bass came up with us, and it was after Christmas, and he had gotten me speaking of the 1-ton hat, he had got me a 1-ton hat and he gave it to me. So I, you know, busted out and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. And I got rocking the 1-ton hat going, and we get flying down the thing, and I mean, 5 minutes after I got it.
Yep.
Up in the river. So
They don't float.
we were luckily Skins and Scales was good enough at driving. We were able to circle back around. We scooped it up.
Oh, you got
and since then my granddaughter has commandeered my one son hat. So
my dad did the exact same thing with the first one of my hats I ever had made. My dad got my first #1 production hat. My dad got it. First time we went fishing, as soon as I hit full throttle, boom, hat gone. Had to hurry up and circle it around and get it with the net.
That's what we ended up doing, but we still got 36. The numbers have gone up, Creel. Michael Williams, fishing the dot.
People just dying to see this ugly mug. Man.
Yeah. Apparently we're a good team. I don't know what it is, but listening to Creel and Stan is like sitting in your kitchen with your favorite hat collection hanging by your kitchen table. Very comfortable.
Yes, hats hanging like on all my chairs. It's full of hats.
And you know, Creel, it's funny that people recognize it because you know, from day one we've kind of had that.
Yeah, we kind of had that little bond, let's say, going on because of your history of when you Louisiana, you know, and that kind of that started us both. If you really want to think about it that way, you know, you weren't really doing YouTube yet,
right?
And you always tell the story about how that kind of motivated you to kind of get going.
Yep.
And I was so new to it that hearing you tell me about how it brought back memories of your family and your dad, well, that motivated me to put, you know, that's the moment where I said, well, man, I think I'm onto something here. I think I'm, you know, this might be something. You know, if it wouldn't have been for that, I might not have done anything else with it. You know, who knows?
You'd be back to racing already.
I don't know. That's an hobby. That's an expensive. That's a lot of money for a little bit of fun. That's what I got out of it.
But you know, Donald Ware, that's one of the best compliments I think that we've ever got. That is that, and if that doesn't signify Louisiana life to a T,
that's it.
I mean, it's comfortable. You know, there is no friends. Everybody's family. Your neighbor is your family. Everybody watches out for everybody, and you know, that's why
a different pace. It's just a little slower pace. You know, we make a bigger effort to have a good time. That's what I always tell people. We work very hard to have a good time, and we will find a way to have a good time. It don't matter what's going on. We will find a way.
We got Bullock Experience. Kelly's in here. I was hosting his show last night when he was out on the creek. Glad he made it home all right. We got No Real Loss. Bex is in the house. My new good friend Bex there. She's awesome. She did a great job winning the Iron Cat from Palmetto Cat's channel last week from the bank.
And did they also win the Glizzy Masters?
Yes, she did. She's beat me. She's done beat me twice now, so we will meet again.
And always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right.
Place like locked down.
Hey, you know what? I'll take second place. You know what? It kind of goes with, you know, I'm a big believer in you kind of attract things to yourself. And me with the 2, you know what I mean? I just kind of keep attracting that 2 into my life. So,
yeah.
Hey, but if I got to lose to people, I want it to be people like Bex. That is, her and Stefan do a great job. The fun that they put into their lives, the what they're trying to promote with part of their. I hope I get it right. She will correct me, I'm sure. But it is No Real Loss, their new logo. We've been talking about that. And it's sharing the joy of fishing.
All the fireworks.
You better put it on, boy.
sharing the joy of fishing, and that's what they do. He's out there dancing, and it's just I love it, and they fun, and that's what fishing is. And if you can't watch them and just get joy out of fishing, so y'all got to check out No Real Loss. They do a great job, and they're up there in the Potomac River where all the all-stars are up there. You got Chunky, you got DMV, Has Life, Fishing Magician 2.0.
Yeah, you got a big crowd of people down in, and then really they're not all that far from where y'all are at on the James.
No, and we're planning. Well, she may not know it yet, but I'm definitely planning some kind of No Real Loss and 2Stan collab going on. They may not know it yet, but I think that would be awesome. Getting our energies together, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
They know it now.
Want another cup of coffee or a cold beverage? That's all family. Amen.
Yep.
My father.
Everybody's like family. My big workshop at the house stays open. I never lock anything, and I've got a mini fridge that pretty much stays full of frosty beverages at all times. I guess I'll get a text message from like a buddy or my dad or something. Hey, I took one out of your mini fridge. All right, cool.
That's what it's there for.
It's like a community bar, and I'm not even there.
Well, what my dad always used to tell me, there may be, I put the link up there. No Real Loss or anybody else, if Bex, if you want to come in, drop that back out there. Our Friday night show. You remember how it goes, Creole. People come in, they got 10 minutes, they stay 10 minutes.
That's it.
It's kind of like that Louisiana lifestyle. You come in and talk with your friends and family, and if you got 5 minutes, you say hello and you leave. If you got an hour, you stay an hour.
Let me see how good your memory is on Louisiana living. What is the word we would use for just going randomly visit people at night after dark? Talking about what's the word?
Go ahead. I can't. It's not gonna come to me. Say it.
Lave. Go lave. That's what we do. We lave. Visiting.
Check this out. We got talk about some awesome people coming in. Palmetto Cat's back in the house. Chunky Cat's fishing. Hello, Creole and Stan. Michael Williams. Creole, what is your feelings about the commercial fishing catching all the catfish?
Well, I'm riding the line on that. Now, I'm going to speak for what the commercial fishermen do in my area. I'm not going to go off on the Pay Lake thing, what other people experience. But the commercial fishermen in my area, number one, they don't keep any big catfish over a certain size. I'm going to say 35, 40 inches, something like that. I'm really not sure why they just don't. I think that's because of a lot of waste when you clean a catfish that big, because the fish markets, they buy it by the pound live from the commercial fishermen. Well, the fish markets are taking a big hit, a loss, buying those big fish, so they quit buying them. Therefore, the commercial fishermen quit catching them. So really, the commercial fish in my area are already starting to do what some of the laws that are being passed in other states. And I've made buddies with a lot of them. There's many, many times I've pulled up to their boats and they're throwing fresh slicker in my boat and don't want $1 for it. Because they know I'm not trying to take away anything they're trying to do. They're trying to make a living. So I really don't have any issues with the true professional commercial fishermen. Now, there's other people on a private basis that want to catch everything that swims, keep everything there is, and just have no respect at all for trying to preserve it. That's the people I have more issues with. The true commercial guys around here, they're doing the right thing.
And the true commercial guys, the ones that are gonna just they want to keep fishing the same waters. They want to pass that. I can speak for Louisiana, and I can see it's a little different than other parts of the countries, but a lot of the ones in Louisiana, you know why they're fishermen? Because their great grandfather was, because their grandfather was, because their father was.
That's all they know. Their families made a living off that river for, I know my family for sure, and many others in this area. We have been living in this area for 300 years. And a lot of people have been fishing that river the whole 300 years. They've just done that throughout their entire family. Now, me, luckily I'm not completely dumb. I've made buddies with these guys. There's nobody that knows the river better than a commercial fisherman. I've gotten a lot of good information, a lot of good tips from these guys over the years, just paying attention to what they say.
Well, a lot of them want the river. They want the fish to do well. That's how they do well.
That's right.
I think in some of the other rivers where you get like the Ohio River and stuff, where you're talking about the pay lakes, you get the fly by night kind of commercial fishermen. That why they're commercial fishermen, because they heard they could make a buck at it.
And that's usually the ones you find that don't have any respect for it. And don't get me wrong, I live a very long way from all the pay lakes. I didn't even know what pay lake was till I started hanging out in these chats, listening. But don't think for a second that I don't have a fear deep down that these guys are going to start coming all the way my way and want to come take my big fish that I'm. Hey, it's not unheard of. They could do it. If they can't find where they're at, they're going to find them, and they're going to come down here. Unfortunately, we don't have restrictions on catfish in Louisiana. So,
and that's across the country. It's well, here in the James, you're allowed to catch one trophy catfish a day over 38 inches. You're allowed to keep one a day.
Yeah.
You can.
Right? Am I right? Is it South Carolina that just passed that law that you can't have more than 2 over 32 inches? Am I correct?
It might be. There's a bunch of them that are starting to, because well, guess what? Fish industry, the recreational fish industry, is starting to create a lot of tax dollars. Starting to create a lot of tourist dollars.
That's
it's the catfish industry. 5 years ago, you couldn't find a catfish rod. 5 years ago was an ugly stick or a surf rod.
Yep.
Now we've got
money.
What's that?
Money talks. It's as simple as that. Nobody's going to really get involved until it has a financial impact, for the good or for the bad. And now that our industry is growing and there's more money involved, there's more tax dollars involved, well, people are getting involved.
Palmetto said it's been 2 over 36 for a while, but now you can only have 25 per day under 36.
In fact, it was him that posted it on Facebook. Now that I think about it, it was Kevin that had posted that I had read. Yeah, they're putting an overall limit on what you can keep. Which 25 catfish a day, that's a lot of. I don't know if you've ever sat down and cleaned 25 catfish. That's a lot per person. That's a lot.
I don't know if you. I have the old. I've still got it. I've got the Louisiana catfish hook. It's a L bracket, and you would nail it to the tree, and there'd be a hook on it, a big hook on it. You plop the catfish up on there. You spin it around with a sharp fillet knife, and it would cut the skin. Grab the skin. You break it off there. And then you throw it on, and the next person would either A, depending on the size, would fillet it, or B, they would, get the rest of the guts out. And but cleaning catfish in Louisiana was never a one-person job. It was, everybody had their own thing. It went right down the production line, and
because usually you had a bunch of them. Now, me personally, I don't skin catfish anymore.
Nope, me neither.
I don't. I basically fillet them like the guys do, like with the offshore fish. I cut the fillet skin and all, flap it over, and I run the skin off with my fillet knife.
Yes.
That little layer of fat out that's always between the skin and the meat. It takes that out with it.
Yes, our ancestors
It's the way
Our ancestors would be rolling in their graves and kicking us, but yes, that is how I do it also now.
Oh, I know. My dad still thinks I'm, you know, because I've practiced, I've gotten good at it. Wait, with that old hook.
And we've had a couple other Louisiana brothers out there. There's Sean T Outdoors. Sean T, obviously, a fellow Louisiana brother there, and we had John Boy catfishing. He was out there earlier, so they understand. They know how it's going.
If you remember right, that's a coup de main, we call that.
Work together. That's right. Yeah, that is the one thing that yeah, if you had my father always used to say that there'd be 4 of us, and he would have enough food for 20 people, and he would always say, yeah, but you never know who doesn't have something to eat.
Yeah, you never know who's gonna show up either.
Yep.
Hey, like, come on, come get you a plate. Come on. That's like me. I can't cook small things. I don't know how. My pot is either full or empty. There's only, I don't know how to do it any other way.
37 awesome people. The numbers have just been climbing. They must have heard that Creo is talking, so they're showing up.
me talking. Imagine that.
38. It just jumped again. We mentioned the word Creo, and here they came.
Oh, that is great. Never in a million years would I thought people would actually want to hear me talk. That's on me. Some of my family members are still surprised by that.
Oh, Creo, you know what? My wife too. She's like, I can't believe it. I've had to listen to your mouth for 30 years, and people actually show up to do that.
I had a good friend of mine. He said, "Beth, I'm glad somebody finds you interesting."
Friends and family, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, they are the toughest critics at times, but you need that though. You need that to keep your feet on the ground. I know.
Right. I got a funny story. I don't know if Kelly is still in here. I saw the Bullock Experience come in. Like I said, I did Lyle wasn't available to do last week. He did while he was fishing the creek. Lyle was the host running the chat for him. Gordon Brown's in the house. How's it going, Gordon Brown? So anyways, Lyle couldn't do it this week, so Kelly Bullock Experience asked if I could come in and help him out, and of course I was more than happy to.
Oh yeah.
Following gig of following Lyle Stokes. I mean, come on, that's a pretty good gig right there, right? So
that's right.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Kelly. But I'm going to tell the funny story, and I totally disagree because I think it was a lot of fun. I had a great time doing the show with him yesterday, but his daughter Sky came on there. We're talking about how family is the toughest critics. They just give you that shot. His daughter Sky was on there. Daddy, when you coming home? We're going to play Minecraft tonight. That's their normal nightly thing. That's awesome that he's got that thing he does with daughter. So we're going on and we're talking and, chat's going. Everything's going great. We're all having a good time. She says, all right, Daddy, I'm getting out of here. This is boring.
Look, I'm telling you, look, family, I'm telling you, they can be hard on you, but they need to be. They need to be.
Yeah, it was. I think I almost split a rib laughing about that, but it's happened to all of us.
Oh yeah, more times than I care to admit. It has definitely happened to me. I've gone back and re-edited entire videos because of something like that. It's like, why'd you do it like that? I'm like, here we go again.
Uptown Chrissy Brown was there. Yes, I thought it was a great show. Kelly did a great job. I really liked that. It was a lot of fun because he was walking a creek that was close to his house in Kentucky. So it's a little different than what we all normally get used to. And
yeah,
obviously you're walking up and down the creek. It's kind of hard to run chat. So you have somebody like me that can talk for, hours at a time. And we're kind of talking to chat and he's doing the fishing and we're asking him questions that the chat is asking. And You get to see that beautiful scenery there in Kentucky with that beautiful creek going through there. There was some rapids, some little rifles there with the small rocks and some deep holes, and it brought up some good points where you're used to fishing big waters with the Mississippi and James River, but it's really great going back to like your roots where you get into that small water. I had a blast. I'm glad that he asked me to do it.
I was actually listening to some of that live. I forget how much I actually caught, but right in the middle of my time listening was when he was like, "All right, that's it, moving to the bridge."
Yeah.
I was in that. Like I said, a lot of times, just because I'm not in chat doesn't mean I'm not there. I'm listening because I'm either on equipment or I'm on the road. But I listen to a lot more stuff rather than just got my phone on the side and just listening.
Chrissy Brown, Uptown Chrissy Brown says, I didn't want to stop watching. I was waiting for him to step into a deep hole.
Hey, that ain't no fun. Old rotten stump hole. Yep.
She says, just kidding. You got to love Ernie and Chrissy Brown. I'm so glad that they're part of our family.
Yeah.
Awesome. They make chat just that much better every time. I appreciate them being out there.
And before I sign off and go back inside and get out of all these mosquitoes, y'all want a tour of the boat real quick before I go inside? I know some people either haven't seen it or I don't know.
Sure. I'm sure that we got 35 awesome people out there. Like I said, the numbers have jumped since you came back on. So
if I flip all this around without messing something up, because I'm literally sitting here leaning on the front deck of my boat the whole time. All right, you can see that.
Oh, we got yes. Show us.
Let me kind of get myself set up here. All right, here we go. All right,
I'll put you on full layout so everybody can see there you go.
So this is the beast right here. This is a 20-foot long, 72-inch bottom Triton center console boat. It was just a big old John boat, big, green, and ugly. I hadn't even put it back in the bag yet, but I got my anchor rope set up, got my anchor ball, and this is the anchor that I run on the river. It's one of those big Bruce style anchors, like the one that looks like a plow that you pull behind a mule.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I use with my big length of chain because it digs in just about any situation. I love them. And I got my my Minn Kota Riptide Tarova. It's white because it's the saltwater version. 24 volt. It's got the spot lock, GPS, all that good stuff. I got me a couple of my monster talons kind of around the sides for when I go suspended fishing. And these are some of my rods right here. In fact, I have a video, been a while, on when I made these homemade rod holders that run down the sides just under the gun of my boat to hold my rods.
So y'all go check out that Creole Catfishing. If you're not with Creole yet, you should be Creole Catfishing. Yep. That was an awesome video.
Yep, I got one on this gunnel and one on that gunnel over there. And if I want to, I can put 6 rods in each of them. So I can carry 12 rods on this boat and not have a single thing in the floor. Like, besides my lawn chair, the floor of the boat's open. I can run around and kind of do whatever I want,
And that's important. That's important, especially when you get that big fish on.
And up there is my, I have the cover on it, but that is a Lowrance Elite TI2 9-inch. Has the down scan, side scan, full sonar, and it also has the mapping feature because Navionics does not show anything in the rivers down here. So I can make my own contour maps with that unit right there. It's one of the big reasons why I bought it.
Awesome.
And then, of course, to fish in the Louisiana heat, got to have a bimini top. That is an absolute necessity around here during the summer.
Creole, after I've done that with Dan and his boat, and he pops up that bimini, I can totally, man, I'm telling you what, probably 10 to 15 degree difference under the bimini.
And actually, the reason I bought this one in particular was some advice I got from Chris Souders. He taught me that if you have a bimini top that's made for a pontoon boat, it's the square tubing like this. And stronger than the round tubing ones. This is one from a company called Empire Tops. And it's their Cool Tech top. It's actually double layered, so the heat of the sun can't beat down through it. And I've got my my homemade split rod rack on the back with my OG monster rod holders. I got some talons on the side. You can see my fish grips and all, everything I need hanging off my rod holders for when I need it. It's got a Mercury 4-stroke 115 on the back, and I've got some Millennium seats that I can put in the positions if I want to. Won't be using them tomorrow. I want the deck open for how we fishing tomorrow. But that front deck is wide. I can actually lay across that front deck, and my head and my feet fit inside the gunnels. This boat is 100 inches from outside to outside on top of the gunnels. It's a really big, wide, stable boat, which for how we fish in the rivers and the barge traffic and all big waves, it's really, really critical to have a good stable boat. But that's about the size of it right there. Like I said, it's you know, I got this boat. I've had it a little over a year now, and I've taken some time and outfitted it the way I need it to do the type of fishing we do. And I really don't know what I would do without it. I could, because there's a lot of places that I would not be able to go if it wouldn't be for that boat. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's and of course, you know, for people that have never been or seen the Mississippi, you know, that's safety is the number one. Even here in the James, we've got a good section of the James. We fish the upper part here, which is you know, there's dangers involved, but it's not a huge river. It's not big water. You go down about 10 miles or so, 15 miles, and you get into that big water where, you know, it's not, you know, 100 feet to the bank or whatnot, and that current is ripping, and you've got some other issues to deal with. So,
yeah, our two biggest dangers in our river, whether I'm on the Mississippi itself or on the Red River or on the Chafalaya, number one is barge traffic. You know, learning the right and wrong way to deal with barge traffic.
yes.
And, track, including and up to entire trees coming down the river. That's the two biggest dangers that we face all the time.
Yeah, we get that we get that here on the James too, and I think any river that has you know, tidal rivers or anything like that, you're going to have to deal with that, because there is going to be, from that constant up down, you're going to have trees that are by the bank.
When it's coming up or after a really big rain, that's when the river gets a little dangerous if you don't respect it, because when it's coming up, that's when you're going to have that trash, you know, it's pulling stuff off the banks and it's coming down, you know, and that's when your seam lines become your best friend and your worst enemy all at the same time, because that old trash loves to collect in those seam lines.
And it just makes sense that that's where the fish are, because if that's what the trash is coming down, well, guess what? That's where the bait is coming down too.
And now the only thing in my experience, when that river's coming up and that trash is coming down them seam lines, it's kind of like riding a motorcycle with no helmet at night, and you kind of got all the stuff hitting you in the face. Well, the fish don't like that either. So
there you go.
All kinds of trash. I have never caught good fish with all kinds of trash on my lines. Now, when I move just outside of the trash line, that's usually where I find them.
As usual, Creole, you put the right words in there. That is, yes. And you know, and both you and I have spoke to Epic a lot, and that's that proximity, that the closer you can get, I can't think of what, you know, you got your bite window and you've got where they can see the bait, and where they're going to bite it, where that hit window. And it, you know, the closer you can get it to that.
Yeah, that's right. And remember, the fish basically want to do as little as possible to be comfortable and to feed. Well, if they got a little bit of trash hitting them in the face, they're not going to swim half a mile down the river if they don't have to. Instead, they'll move over literally 6 feet. And I've literally had, cause I normally fish with 6 rods out the back of the boat. I've literally had 3 rods that the tips would dance the whole time because they were getting hit with trash. But the 3 on the out of the trash line on the slower current side, they were getting all the bites. And you couldn't buy a bite on the 3 rods that were in the seam because they were full of trash.
Skins and Scales said them trees is like playing Pac-Man. Yeah, at that time.
It can be. That's why you got to have a knife on the front of that boat just in case. In fact, another safety tip for the boat owners. In fact, I got to flip my camera around one more time. Just give me a second. Hopefully I don't hang up on everybody here. Okay. You see that right? That is what's called a zigzag boat cleat. In fact, I can pull the rope right here and show you. The rope actually goes in it like this, okay? And I'm doing this through my camera, so it's backwards. Okay, rope goes in it like this, okay? And you put any pressure on it at all, it catches, okay? You can't pull this. But it does not matter how hard you're pulling on this. Does not matter. You get in a bind, you can still pop that rope up and get yourself off your anchor extremely fast if you need to in a bad situation. That's why I have this zigzag cleat mounted on the front of my boat. A regular tie down cleat, like the one you see over there, you have to get the pressure off of it to unravel it. You have to. But with this, you don't. You stand directly over it and pull, and it'll pop that rope out every time.
That is awesome. That is an awesome tip right there for anybody that fishes.
That right there has saved my butt more times than I care to admit. I will tell you right now.
That is an awesome. Why don't they make that the standard cleat anymore? That should be. You would think that would be standard issue. That's awesome.
Well, keep in mind with a zigzag cleat, it's I forget the term, but it there is the possibility if you do something wrong that your rope could pop back out of it and you'd have to re-cleat it again. There are certain situations where I got to watch what I'm doing to make sure it's set in there correct. Mm-hmm. With a regular cleat, if it's tied, it's tied. That's it. It's not going anywhere. That's one of those things that you once you learn how to use it, hey, no problem. But I've literally had my boat anchored in 6-7 mile an hour current, where you could hear that thing in the current. And if you pull up on that rope, it's coming out. or better or worse sometimes.
6, 7. A lot of us will never ever hit 6 or 7 foot per mile hour current. But
in fact, a lot of the current that I anchor in is so fast, I do not throw my anchor ball out until after I'm ready to pull my anchor up. Because what will happen, I use that big stainless steel ring. I don't use that pipe looking thing with the bolt in. I just use the old stainless ring like they do offshore. Well, what will happen if I'm anchored in the current? It'll actually push my anchor ball up under the nose of my boat. So it's pinned under the nose of my boat. I can't make it swing out of the other like I need. So what I'll do, I'll put somebody on the front of the boat. I'll pull up just a little, get some pressure off the anchor. And as soon as I got some slack in the rope, hook the ball and throw it over the side that I need once there's slack rope. And then I take off and pull my anchor up.
Yeah, so, a lot of people, like I said, will never, ever face those kind of things. So people just get in a boat. I don't care what river you're in, what body of water. If there is current, there's dangers that you got to deal with.
Yep.
Even in lakes, there's dangers you got to deal with. Just make sure, before you even worry about fishing from a boat, If you've never done it before, take the boat out, drive it around, anchor up. Don't worry about fishing. Just take yourself some time until you get totally comfortable with what you're doing. Safety is always, because when you don't expect it, and here I am talking to the safety man, but
but
when
like the anchor ball thing, I had never heard of any of that before. Well, I'm not going to practice it in 6 miles of current. Well, I went to a little lake around here that's 6 foot deep, no current. That's where I practiced. Now, the people trying to brim fish were looking at me like I was crazy, trying to figure out what I was doing. But I practiced and practiced until I didn't have to think about what I was doing anymore. Then I was ready to go out on the river with it. Same thing with this big boat. When I first got this thing, it took me a while to get used to it, of how it's going to react in certain situations.
Well, Creel,
it's predictable.
As always, you bring in the people. We've got the weekend angler. Josh, congratulations again. Best wishes to you and your awesome growing family. He had
he made him a little pickler.
Spoken like a true catfish.
I love you, Josh. I love you.
That's right. Hey, if there's LG Bass and the Weekend Angler, those are the 2 ditch picklers that have my heart. I love both of them. They're awesome. Yep. 10 pounds, 20 something ounces. I mean, 20 something inches. That's where I was at. I was kind of that. I was 24 inches and almost 10 pounds. I was that big. I was never in the 1 foot club. So.
No, I think I was 9'5". My little brother was 9'7". My son, my youngest, he was 9 even. This is big babies.
Little Gabe, right? Little Gabe.
No, my youngest son, Caleb.
Youngest.
Gabe, my oldest one, when he was born 5 weeks premature and weighed 6 pounds.
Wow. Well, he made up for it. God bless.
He'd have been a big baby if he'd have gone full turn. Let me tell you that right.
But anyways, we got him in there. Getting into the lake. Good to see y'all. Well, thank you. Chunky Cat's Fishing says,
okay.
Says, Jeremy, can you show us that cleat again and how to tie it off?
Yeah. Okay. Hang on a second. Let me swap my.
Because Elston has the boat, and he's gonna be trying to do some things out in the Potomac, so that might help him out a lot there.
Okay, I'm gonna try to actually put my phone on the stand and do this, so both hands are free.
Before you get there, Roger Anderson, thanks for the awesome live stream. Stan and Creel, Salty Papa's going to hit the rack. Tight lines and big cats, brothers and sisters. Much peace and love from Northeast Texas. Roger Anderson, appreciate you being out there. God bless you. Hope everything's going well. You're continuous in our prayers. Thank you so much. And we're going to get back. Go ahead, Creel.
Okay. All right, so let's just say, all right, you got your anchor thrown out. You got rope going out. Now when the rope is wet, this is a lot easier to do. But all sideways, pop it, turn it, pop it, turn it, pop it. That's it. It doesn't matter how long these loops stick out. What I like to do, once I have it popped, I take my foot and one good time. But that's it. You can pull on this. I mean, look, I'm moving the whole boat right here. This is not going anywhere.
And that you're pulling on, that's the line that goes to the anchor, correct?
This is the anchor right here. I mean, just pretend I have my anchor sitting on the ground. But this is it. Anchor's out the front. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate how to pop the rope out. I'm going to really wrap my hand around this rope.
All right, so your hand is the anchor. Your hand is the anchor.
I'm pulling on this thing about as hard as I can with one arm. See?
Wow. Awesome.
And it'll do that every time. but that's literally all there is to it. You throw your rope out, you're letting it go out, and you go front to back. Boom, boom, boom. Hit it with your foot, you're done. And when it catches, it may suck in these just a little bit, but it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Like I said, you get in trouble, all you got, in fact, I'm going to wrap this around again. You get in trouble, just like that, and it's out.
Awesome.
You're off your anchor. Okay, let me switch back here. Yeah, it's a little something that I picked up when I first got. I was actually on someone else's boat, and they had one of these, and they were telling me about it because I think they use them. They use this type of cleat, but it's much bigger, I think, in the towboat industry for some reason. And they said, they sell small ones like that for regular boats. You ought to put you one on yours in the center on the nose of your boat.
Yeah.
Because for people that don't know, if you want your boat to sway as less as possible, put your anchor dead center on the nose of the boat. It helps control it a lot better in the current.
Yeah, and if you're dealing with big current, the better you can get it centered, that is a huge difference.
Yeah, I mounted that cleat dead center on the nose of the boat, and now my boat still sways. Without sock or something like that, you're gonna get swayed no matter what. But this boat mounted on the center, even though it's bigger, sways a lot less than the 17-foot boat I was using before with a cleat set to one side. It does a lot better.
There you go. Elston, Chunky Cat's Fishing says, "Thank you, Creole." That's
I think
what?
I got them off of Amazon for like, I think $17 for two of them for a set. They're not expensive. Just make sure you get one big enough for the size of rope that you're using. That's the one thing you got to remember with these zigzag cleats. They got a couple different sizes of them. Don't get one too small that you can't put, that your rope won't fit in it. Like mine takes from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch rope, and I use 1/2 inch rope. Like I'm using the biggest rope I can put in it.
Yeah, that's awesome, because even like a little John boat, just for even here in the James, a lot of when we go out with that, my size is kind of limited. I've got to be in the front of the boat.
Yeah.
So I've got the anchor out, and I'll be laying across the front of the deck of the boat and letting the anchor out, and then I've got to try to get the slack and tie it up, and how much easier it would be to just go zink, 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 and then to take it out, all I got to do is go boom. That's
yank up on it. It's coming out, and I find because even to set the rope in the cleat, you can do it under tension. To tie anchor rope on a cleat, you got to have slack in it.
I've got to pull it like this and hold it, and then try to get the slack, and then let it go. Yep. That's
something from experience. Try to pull a rope by hand to get slack on a 20-foot boat in 6 mile an hour. Try that. Let me know how it works out. Not easy.
Those are the days you're glad you got your brother with you, right?
Yeah. No, turn that big motor on, yeah. That team takes care of that situation quick. Man, but that's also why I never, ever go on that river by myself. There's always somebody with me. There's too much that can happen. I do not go. If I don't have somebody to come with me, I ain't going. And I'm talking somebody that can drive that boat. Not my 8-year-old son with me. Somebody who can support me if I need it.
That is a good point that I've heard multiple people bring up is if you're in a boat, especially in a river current situation, but I don't care, lakes. I've ran into a situation. We lived right on a lake in upstate New York, and you never know what happens. My health isn't the greatest, and you never know. Just having that one extra person with you could be the difference between making it back to the bank or not. So,
and there's a lot of times that anchoring this boat and getting the boat off of anchor I can do it by myself, but it's a whole lot safer to do it with two people. It's a whole lot safer and a whole lot easier.
That's right, Uncle Jeep. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, if y'all don't mind, hit the thumbs up. Consider subscribing too. Don't forget my brother Creole Catfishing out there. Still got the channel going. He's gonna hopefully be going live if he can this weekend. But if not, check out for the video. Kelly Bullock Experience. Tomorrow is the last day for the Doc Demon Ugly Stick Whisker Seeker Challenge.
I got
that. You got two of them.
I got two of them. You couldn't see them because they're on the other side of my console from where I two of them on the boat. If we go live, we're gonna give it one more shot.
You know what the winning fish is so far, don't you?
Yeah, it's like what, 13 pounds?
No, 60.4 pounds.
Wait, what?
Dan and Green Machine and I and his girlfriend Courtney, the last time we went out live last weekend, we caught a 60.4 pounder on a ugly stick dock runner.
Okay, I had heard y'all caught that fish. I did not know it was on a dock runner.
Yes.
Oh, so y'all didn't set the bar high. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Hey, ain't scared.
I know it. That's why I love you, brother.
Don't make me work for it. That's all. That is, look, dude, that is a hog. I don't care what kind of rod you got him in on. Because I have the exact rod. I have two ugly stick dock runners. I cannot imagine what I'm gonna have to go watch that now. I cannot imagine what that was like.
Yeah, it's on Green Machine. Green Machine Outdoors has it. He put the video up. He sent me the video. He said I could put it on my channel, but
yeah, we go and check that out. So who
awesome.
Officially has it? Is it Dan or is it you or who officially has the big fish?
Well, I'm gonna say Dan, but it's kind of you know how we are, Creole. Everything is, you're out on a boat. It's a team effort. However,
yeah, it's who goes get the rod. Yeah, I got you.
The rod went down. It was Stan 3's rod. He wasn't out with us, but I brought the dock runner from Stan 3. I brought it with us. Dan had two of them on his side. I had two on my side. I had one right by me. Dan knows I can't jump up quick, that quick.
Yeah.
It went boom. He reeled it down. He's like, here, take it. I'm like, no, you take it.
Yeah.
His girlfriend, Courtney, from the front of the boat says, I'll take it. Will it be fun? Will it be fun? She says. We're like, will it be fun? Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Take it. You know how we are, Chris. You're like me. I would rather anybody.
Yeah.
If I'm fishing with you, I want you to catch the fish. That's just me.
I'm like that too.
Yep. And so yeah, for the fact that she got that thing, and God bless her, she put on a clinic on how to control a big fish.
Oh,
yeah, you got to go check it. She did great until all of a sudden, like fighting this fish for like 10, 15 minutes, that ugly stick went snap. And I've never seen an ugly stick, even a short one, break from a fish.
Well, I imagine y'all found its limits. I mean, that's a little, the fish you caught was longer than the rod you caught it on.
Oh, yeah, it was 4 foot. It was just shy of 48 inches long.
Now, the question is, was Dan wearing my hat whenever y'all caught it?
I believe I was, but
See? See, it still stands. All right, well, brother, I got to go. Apparently, there's a Jenga game going on inside that I'm missing.
Oh my goodness! Well, if I lived closer, I would be right there because I love me some Jenga. So
I'm going to get me a little sip of something, then go play Jenga. So got to bring up the level of difficulty a little bit. You know what I mean?
I hear you, my friend Creole. Awesome. I can't thank you enough. There you go. Uncle Jeep just put it out there. Creole Catfishing. I can't tell you, I owe so much to Creole. One of my best friends.
Absolutely. It has been a wild ride, and it's only beginning.
Just beginning. That's right. They're going to see us together one day where it counts on the water.
Oh, one day. See, look, I got goosebumps. See, hey, it's going to happen. I will be at Patriots tournament this coming April. I will be there. So hey, might be our shot.
I will be there too. I don't own a boat.
Hey, well, you know what? I do. I know a guy who has a big boat. I can put a lot of people or a couple of big people on the boat.
Yeah, well, I happen to be a big person, so
no problem. No problem. I can carry a ton of weight in this boat, so trust me, I got everybody covered. We can
Uncle Jeep's got it right. That'll be trouble.
But just the right kind of trouble.
There you go.
It's the trouble you want to be there for.
That's right. That's right. And Bullock has it. Green Machine Outdoors officially has, because he actually did, once the rod snapped, he got the rod from Courtney. Okay. You know, I had obviously I cleared the other rods, cleared the deck.
Oh, I got you.
Yep.
That's effort though. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
60-pound. You all got to check that video out. Can't tell you enough how much I appreciate Green Machine. He's an awesome young dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Love fishing with him.
Sticker on my somewhere. I just remembered. I gotta stick that thing.
Did you send a picture to him yet?
Send it
to Green Machine. You take a picture of you. You said you got a Green Machine sticker, right?
Yeah, he sent me a sticker. I got to put it on I got to find a spot for it on the boat. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you get a spot on it there, take a picture, because he's got this thing where it's like an interactive map, and it shows where all the stickers went to, and you can click on it.
Right. That's right.
So if you send him a picture, like my stickers are going to have that picture of us with that fish. So, you know, you get a fish or whatever, you send a picture by that Green Machine sticker. He'll put that on the website. And so anybody that clicks, let's see where that Green Machine thing is in Louisiana, and they click it.
Oh, I got you.
There pops up it'll pop up Creole catfishing pictures. So
yeah, that's awesome. Well, Stan, dude, it's been an honor. Hopefully it won't be another month before I get to come do this again.
Anytime, my brother. Just let me know. You're always up here.
All right. Night, everybody.
All right. That was awesome. It was great being back with Creole again. You know, there's some people you just have that connection with, and Green Machine, thank you very much for putting out there. Uncle Jeep, thank you for putting Green Machine's thing out there. That is great. Justin Poncho, I sent you an email. All right. We will reply to that a little bit later on. Dan, Green Machines, wow. I talked to Creole and my mind just keeps going, but Dan's Creations, yes, we're still rolling. We're going to be getting out of here, though. Totally awesome. I love speaking with my brother Creole. Great having everybody in here. Uncle Jeep, I appreciate you being out there. Thank you for dropping the links. Thank you for what you do. Really appreciate you. Kelly, it was great working with you last night. Yeah, broke the rod. That was totally awesome being a part of that. She did a great job. Courtney did a great job reeling that, trying to control that monster and fight that monster fish with that little bitty rod. Totally awesome being a part of that. If you could, please hit the thumbs up before y'all leave. That does totally mean a lot. Chrissy Brown, thank you so much again. Great having Uptown Chrissy Brown and Downtown Ernie Brown on everybody's shows. Thank you for the support. Fishing with the Squirrel, great seeing you out there. Thank you so much. But we're going to jump on out of here. 2.5 hours in. Getting back to the main reason of the show was Mike Greenwell Fishing. He's trying to get to the 4K watch hour mark. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Kenneth Powell. Take down catfishing. Y'all check him out. Awesome. But Greenwell Fishing, trying to get to the 4K mark. We want to help him get over that. So if there's anything y'all can do with that, get the playlist running and try to help him out. That would be great. He puts a lot of time on the water and definitely puts out some good information. But we're going to get out of here. Justin, no problem at all. That's what we're here for. I love to help anybody out. 2stansfishing@gmail.com if you have any questions at all. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find somebody that does. But my whole thing is I want to help people catch some bigger fish, enjoy fishing a little better, and how to take care of the fish a little better. And if that's what you do and you get out there, awesome, Chrissy. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for all that you do for this catfishing community. Enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. Survival. How's it? Survival LT, how you doing? Great to see you. Oh, Justin, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Mike Irvin, see y'all next time. Mike, I can't tell you enough. Supporter from day one. Thank you so much for being out there. Wonder who's going to be a co-host this time. Well, you've set the bar high, Kelly. You've set the bar high. Lyle and myself. So, just kidding. To be in the same sentence with Lyle Stokes is truly just an honor. So that is awesome. I had a total blast doing that with you, Kelly. That was great. Kevin Baker, Nuts and Bolts Fishing, another one. Can't thank you enough. You've been out there. Really appreciate you. Survival LT, y'all can check out his channel. He's got a great channel. Jay Fox Hunter, God bless you. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Jay Fox. Truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for being out there all the time. Y'all gonna make me blush or start crying. So great show. Thank you. It truly means a lot to me. It really, really does. And I'm that emotion on the sleeve kind of person. So, and I thank you for popping up the tube, because that does mean a lot to me. I do try to make that mean something. And thank you. We're gonna jump out of here. Hope y'all enjoyed the night. I thought it was a great show. Y'all did a great job out in chat. Thanks for the great questions. Thanks for the great comments. And we're going to see y'all later. Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July. God bless America. We'll see y'all on Stand Day morning.